I want to talk to you about Alitu. And the thing is that we want to do a review and we want to look at the podcast hosting platform. We want to look at the pricing, the pros and cons, everything that you need to know about Alitu. So here's the synopsis I want you to really pay attention to. So when you think about Alitu, I want you to think about a friendly podcast maker online application. It's basically intended to make editing and production as simple as possible by automating the majority of the process and actually providing podcast specific tools for the remaining. So this is kind of cool. And what we love about Alitu is that it was developed by an industry insider. That's basically the team at the podcast host. So which it's really purpose built for podcasters. Okay, it's really industry insiders who are really working on that. So what we think is that it's a terrific tool for podcasters who want to improve their audio quality, but the tool lacks the ability to actually get you the all-in-one approach that other tools currently have. So if you go with the Riverside or you go with the Transistors FM, you are at another level. But Alitu is still great anyway, okay? So if you're interested in an advanced podcast editing, Alitu definitely is not the right program for you because it doesn't offer granular control over byte rates, for instance, compressions, etc. It allows podcasters to improve their audio quality at a reasonable fee. So if you're a podcaster, you may want to try Alitu app to see if it really works for you. So let's talk about the pros and cons of Alitu so we have a clear idea who the audience really is. So the pros first. You have automated settings and intuitive interface. The theme tracks are available in variations for free in the music library. This is really good. We have recordings that can be made within the app. The budget-friendly tool, automated settings, and intuitive interface. This is really cool. I think I've said this before, but I want to really insist on that. The automated settings and intuitive interface, it's really what those two are what separates Alitu from the rest of the pack. And so this is really great. And this plugin integrates with popular podcast hosting services such as Buzzsprout, Captivate, Transistors FM, and so on and so forth. What about the cons here? Well, automation is used in editing, leaving little to no control over settings and audio quality. And the program is limited to only one transition effect and does not have advanced features of programs like Adobe Audition, Audacity, Hindenburg Journalist, etc. And audio recordings are limited and available only in MP3 and MP4 formats for download. So once the raw audio is uploaded by podcasters, what we love about Alitu is that it really offers a noise reduction, normalization, and automatic cleanup. You can actually add your music at the beginning and even within the episode titles. And to remove mistakes from your podcast, you can use a podcast-specific editing tool because the Alitu doesn't have it as of now. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. Let's talk about the process here. Let's talk about using Alitu to create podcasts. And what I want to say here is that, it's very easy to record a podcast with Alitu, okay? It's really important because the tool has been created to make sure everything is simple from the get-go. So basically, Alitu enables you to upload multiple pre-recorded files that can be re-merged or even merged, okay? And the cool thing is that you have flexibility along the way. So basically, you can use Alitu's record call function to record an interview with a visitor. This feature allows you to actually invite your guest into a call room. This is kind of similar to Zoom, Zencastr, or Skype, and then record the chat. So this greatly streamlines the workflow as you and your guest may perform all actions within Alitu. And Alitu simplifies the entire procedure because everything can be completed in a single location. So this granularity, this efficiency, this seamless efficiency is really great because no additional recording instruments or software are required for this operation. So you can actually record and edit your podcast with Alitu. So you can create a new episode. For instance, you can input your episode details. This is really great. You can upload your file or you can record your audio. This is really fantastic. And also you can actually you can sequence your episodes by using the episode builder. So this allows you to reorder your audio clips by dragging and dropping. You are able to also publish directly to your podcast hosting platform. So we're speaking here about Buzzsprout, Libsyn, Blueberry, you have Spreaker, you have Podbean, you have Captivate, you have Castos. So you do have a constellation of podcast hosting platforms, but Alitu really helps you actually upload your recordings seamlessly. That's what we love. So this is kind of cool. Now, one thing I want to say here is that if your podcast host is not listed in Alitu's list of hosting platforms, you can export your audio and upload it manually. So worth noting is that Alitu is soon to release its own hosting platform. Right now, they don't have it. So if you are a podcaster in the future, you might actually want to wait for that particular capability. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Alitu. This is an Alitu review. So what is the decision here? So the question is Alitu any good? And so our answer is yes. Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. Now, the bigger question is that everything depends on your circumstances. Okay, if you're going to use Alitu, it depend. The choice will depend on your circumstances. So, what if you were a podcaster who records and edits, and you do not have like the capabilities to get it done? You will love Alitu. If you don't know how to use more advanced editing software, you will love Alitu. If you're interested in saving time during your podcast recording process, you will love Alitu. And if you're trying to make things easier and more efficient for your podcast, you will love Alitu. So basically, Alitu is an incredibly useful tool that we love the UX and the UI. The interface is friendly and simple, and everything is automated. That's the cool thing. Everything is automated. And so that's for beginners. You can see that Alitu is great for beginners and for mid-service podcasters. If, however, you've been recording and editing audio for years, already use advanced software, and have a lot of experience in making your podcast sound great, Alitu is probably not for you, okay? Because the thing is that Alitu focuses on automating technical aspects of audio production. So at the moment, you do not have the option to make more advanced adjustments yourself, then Alitu is not really needed, okay? So when you think about Alitu, again, think about a software that has clean, intuitive workspace capabilities. You have automated audio leveling, so this is kind of cool for let's say for beginners, but also for mid-service sort of podcasters. You have free theme music and effects. You have podcast host integration. And you have tutorials and support services. Okay. And one thing I want to say before closing this section here is that whether or not you should go with the Alitu depends upon your budget, depends upon your operational vision, depends upon the setup that you have. Okay. Now, Alitu is a simple program, best suited for uncomplicated edits without a ton of creative production, but a lot of solo podcasters find this tool really, really helpful. Let's talk about pricing here. So when you think about Alitu, what kind of pricing should you be thinking about? You can see on the screen here that Alitu is trying to position itself as one of the cheapest sort of, that's what they're trying to do, but they're not really that cheap. I mean, because if you think about it, if you're paying $38 a month, there are tools that are cheaper than that, okay? 38, that's $40 a month. You're talking here about $500 a year, but you do have other tools on the market that are cheaper. So Alitu is charging you either $38 per month or $99, like $100 per month, if you are trying to have an all-in-one sort of solution. Okay, so the bottom line here is that everything depends on how you position yourself. So a free trial, the cool thing is a free trial is included with both monthly and annual plans. So when we talk about free trial, the free trial actually will last 7 days. So for 7 days, you are able to see all the capabilities. You're able to see exactly what happens, and you can see if this is a tool for your podcast or not. Okay, and that's what we love, because sometimes when you have when you have access to a free trial, some podcast hosts they just limits the capabilities you can access, but Alitu doesn't have that, so you have full access. And so if you were to ask us, how does Alitu compare to, let's say, the Scripts Pro plan or Adobe Audition? Really, the thing here is that Alitu is a little more expensive. So it's one of those things where you have to think about, if you were just asking us about the pricing, yes, Alitu is more expensive, but Alitu does way more than you can't just compare and contrast based on price. You got to look at the features, you got to look at the offerings, you got to look at the integrations, you got to look at the automating process, so on and so forth. So it's one of those things where you have to see what really works for you. One thing we want to say here is that we love the fact that Alitu is pretty transparent with pricing. I mean, you might say $38 per month is kind of expensive, but at least they're telling you how much they're charging. They're not really trying to play games with you, trying to confuse the hell out of you by giving you by telling you call customer service to have more information. No. They're telling you upfront how much it costs. So it's up to you to say, listen, I think it's decent, the price is decent, or I'm out of here. So this is really good. We applaud that. We love that. We love that transparency. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about Alitu. This is an Alitu review, and everything is about podcast hosting, podcast software tool. I want to talk to you about the value added. So when we think about Alitu, what is the value added here? So what are the things you need to really pay attention to? So Alitu really adds value when it comes to podcast automation. So through recording, editing, and production. So with automation, virtually everything is handled by you. So you are able to do everything. And so Alitu helps you improve your audio files by leveling them off and reducing any distracting background noise, as in-depth audio editing can be frightening and time-consuming for inexperienced podcasters. This feature will likely appeal to novice podcasters right away. You have another area where Alitu really adds value is the simplicity of use. I've said this before, right? I've said that UI, the UX, the user interface is really great. It is intuitive. It is self-explanatory. So you can start working with it almost immediately after logging in. And this is an additional benefit for individuals who are new to podcasting. So for this demographic, simplicity is of paramount importance, and Alitu strikes a fair balance between simplicity and a strong feature set. You are able to save money. This is another area where Alitu is actually adding a lot of value. Okay, you have podcast call recording. You can also record remotely with another person in Alitu, and the audio is immediately available for use in your episode. Think about that. Think about scalability here. Think about efficiency. So with no need for separate digital audio workstations, the DAWs, and phone calls. This makes long distance interviews or even co-hosting a breeze when you really think about it. You also have a tool that adds value in terms of supporting most audio file formats. So Alitu suggests uploading .wav files for the high quality starting point, but the tool also supports uploading in the following formats as well. You have M4A, you have a .mov, you have a MP3, FLAC, MP4, WAV, you have OGG, AIFF, AIF, AC. So you have a lot of platforms here, a lot of formats, okay? You also have access to Alitu's audio library. You can simply access and edit your files within Alitu with a repository of your own recordings, uploads, and music, in addition to access to Alitu's music library. You can you can automatically add music intros and outros. You can publish actually straight to your podcast hosting provider, and this is really fantastic. So in terms of adding value, we have seen it in our research that Alitu is great for a lot of things, but there are some limitations that we have. We actually reached out to Alitu, and the team there is currently working on those limitations. Okay, so this is the limitations are way more than the pros and cons that I just told you earlier. The limitations are actually structural. See, the pros and cons, the cons in that case are more like contextual, but these limitations are structural. So you got to really see whether or not they are like deal breakers or deal makers for you. In other words, if you're okay with them, then go with Alitu. If you're not okay with them, then basically just go for another provider. Okay. The first thing is that Alitu is not free. They don't have a free version. They'll give you a 7-day free trial, but that's it. After 7 days, you gotta stop paying. You gotta start paying for stuff if you want to use the Alitu. Okay. And right now the tool is online only, so it is a web-based application which requires, when you think about it, an online connection for recording and editing. So it's not so simple though, because if you have to do like let's say a remote sort of recording, if you're in an area where internet is kind of sketchy at best, then Alitu will be a little limited in terms of usage rather. And the automation, it's approximate really. I mean, automation has both advantages and disadvantages. So Alitu's automation is ideal for beginners, but it does not control things like byte rates, compression, file formats, editing at the highest levels, or other complex parameters. Okay, and so this will be a deal breaker for some more experienced podcasters who desire greater control over the editing process. And so right now you only have one setup per input. So this is one of those things where Alitu has to improve, because right now the tool does not support multiple microphone inputs. Hence, it is really not possible to record with many mics at once. So this will make it tough, really tough, to conduct in-person interviews or co-host a show. And this is really important. And one thing I also want to say also is that you can't record right now video. So if you are trying to record videos with Alitu right now, you can't really do nothing of that sort. What are the rivals you need to really account for if you're thinking about Alitu? First of all, you have a lot of players in this industry. You have Anchor, for instance. You have Audacity. You have Zencaster. You have Descript. You have GarageBand, and you have Logic Pro X. Let's go through a few of them so you have a clear idea what we're talking about here. So when we talk about Alitu versus Anchor, Anchor is a free, all-inclusive alternative to Alitu that really provides podcast hosting, recording, editing, and monetization. And so Anchor is a prime example of a jack of all trades, master of none, because it really performs the aforementioned test adequately, but it really lacks Alitu's professional recording capabilities. That's the whole thing about having a free tool. Okay, sometimes it's just better to pay for stuff to get the highest quality. If everything is free, who's paying for the tools? Okay, what about Audacity? Well, Audacity is another free choice with a focus on recording and editing this time. So you can import your files or record them directly into Audacity. It also lets you edit your files into episodes. However, it lacks Alitu's music library, automatic leveling, background noise elimination, and call recording. What about Zencaster? Now, Zencaster focuses more on the recording aspect than on the editing aspect. So its free plans allow you to record an infinite amount of conversations with up to 4 participants. On their sole paid plans, which cost about $20 to $30 per month, you can record individuals in 1080p video as well as audio, and you have 10 hours per month to edit audio or video. And so while Alitu does not have the capacity to record or edit video, you may generate audiograms in order to simply broadcast your show on YouTube and other social media platforms. What about Descript? Well, Descript's feature set is distinct from Alitu's and in the fact that they actually offer 30 to 45 hours of transcription per month on their professional plan, and a user interface that enables you to alter your podcast by editing the text of the words you spoke. So if you want to correct an error, you can tweak the word, and the script will produce an artificial intelligence clone of your voice. So this is kind of cool. What about GarageBand? Well, GarageBand is another straightforward free audio editing software for iOS devices. So you can actually upload the files or record them directly. So it is user friendly, although not particularly optimized for podcasting. So it is also often used for music. It lacks the major capabilities of Alitu, such as the automation of audio leveling and background noise removal, but it is entirely free. And finally, you have Logic Pro X. This is a comprehensive digital audio workstation that permits the editing of up to 1,000 tracks on a single project. There are many similarities between Logic and GarageBand, and both are geared towards musicians, really. And so Logic Pro X costs about $200 to $300 and is completely different from Alitu, and as because it is designed for artists and producers, okay, not podcasters. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just having an Alitu review. So let's quickly do a recap here. So I give you the synopsis, the pros, the cons, the process, the decision, the pricing, the value added, the limitations, and the rivals. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.